Icarus is about to cease to be the sole mechanical entity buzzing about the stars and skies. Logistics bots are in our immediate future this episode. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series. So we finished, at the end of the last episode, a pretty major logistical upgrade to not only this planet, but to the outpost that we have built on another planet in the Alpha Andromedae system. There are a few more buffers that I have built. For example, the storage here that's currently completely full, and these storages as well, which I could go ahead and factor that new buffer technology into, that new update that allows us to build storages on top of splitters. But we're not going to do that this episode. I might kind of do it piecemeal, one at a time. What I would really like to do now is something that we brought the parts for. I just have to fly over here and grab them. We've got all these chips and electromagnetic turbines. And also, you know what? Let me go ahead and grab this stone and iron. Wow, the second iron buffer has already filled up. Look at that. That just goes to show how fast we're mining this stuff. It makes sense, too, because we have 2 iron veins going. So it might be a good idea to increase the rate at which we're mining coal and stone. But for now, it seems to be holding its own. So, now that I brought those back, I think I also have some prisms that I can grab. Yep, I'll be needing these momentarily. So I can build logistics distributors on top of all of my storages. And technically, I could build them on top of every single one. They do consume power, so I don't necessarily want to build a ton of them right away. But there are certain things that I want to just keep stocked in my inventory. For example, I want to have a stock of belts. I want to have a stock of sorters. Have we unlocked level 3 belts yet? No, we haven't. We've unlocked level 2 sorters. But we are currently automatically constructing level 2 sorters here. We have actually level 3 sorters that we can set up. We haven't done that yet. Those require, of course, input from another world. That's one of the reasons we haven't automated it here, because we would need to bring in constantly these electromagnetic turbines in order to do that. But I still would like to have a kind of a stash of these in my inventory, especially once I have that process going. So let me at least get these built. Let me think in terms of whether or not it might be time to go ahead and build the upgrades as planned. Probably not there. Probably not there. See, the main issue is that these are not resources that really require the splitters to be at the base as much as like these core resources over here. They're just not. So you can definitely make an argument for having them. You could. And I could even go ahead and set up the construction of the level 3 sorters here. But for now, what I think I'd like to do is just go ahead and build the distributors. Where are you? I know I built you. There you go. So they're on the transportation tab, the very first item on the transportation tab. And we're going to place one here. And the level 2 belts require just, yeah, okay. So I am going to set up construction for the level 2 belts. Even though I don't quite have importing set up yet, we're going to do that. Just one machine. And having done that, all right, good, we only have, all right, stop. Here's what I'll do. I'm just going to set up a storage box right here. We're going to put some of these away just for a moment so I can have some extra space in my inventory in order to do this. As I mentioned last episode, one change that's been made as I've been kind of renovating my production apparatus here is that I no longer have limits on a number of the storages that I had set up so far, and the reason is it's just not as necessary. So Okay, what would be the best way to do this? Oh, yeah. Just feed straight in. God, I'm not used to that yet, but it's a beautiful thing because you don't have to worry about having a second sorter anymore. So the ability to have storage right next to, you couldn't have done what I just did. That's the reason I paused for a moment because I was like, wait a minute, how am I going to do this? But then I remembered I didn't need to think about where the second sorter went. I just need to feed it in. It's phenomenal. All right, so these will just feed here, like so. And then what I may be able to do here, okay, it doesn't quite fit a storage, unfortunately. So I think what I'll do is let's go ahead and set up a splitter. We're going to, any additional storage that we place on the ground that's going to remain in place, we will do this properly. So if I put you like so, will I be able to put storage here? Yes, I can. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that's so nice. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It's fantastic. All right, so what we now need to do is take all of these back out, put all of my electromagnetic turbines in there. And I'll just have them come right here, and this sorter will grab them off the line. Then I just want to tell you to build a conveyor belt Mark II, and they will immediately begin. Very nice. So same thing as before. I want to have... How far away is that built? Yeah, it's literally just one spot away. That blows my mind that that's possible. I just have to put the splitter down first. Absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, it's not that close. It's like that. Still, mind-blowing. You just have to have the one space, because that's the one the splitter from the assembler goes out to. And then you're good. Okay, so the question is, do we really need to put a limit on these anymore? We'll see. I'm going to let things run, as I said last episode, and we'll see how it plays out. I'm optimistic that things are going efficiently enough that I don't need to do that anymore. But now that I've built that, because level 2 conveyor belts are the best conveyor belts that I currently have. I'll have level 3 before long at all. I have access to the technology, I believe, right now. So now we have logistics distributors built here. In order to build logistics bots, I need a couple of things. I need the chips that I have in my inventory. And I have... Oh, nice. I've already got a lot of the things that I need for these. Why is it saying that I can build 50? I only have 36 electromagnetic turbines in my inventory. Oh, probably because I can make additional from the stuff I have. Yeah, that's why. That's why. But I'm going to go ahead and grab a bunch more, just so that I don't have to worry about it as much. So with that being done, of course, this is also something that I can automate much later. Let's go ahead and set up a bunch of bots. Because I want these two resources to be flown to me automatically whenever I am on this planet. I don't want to have to grab them out of the box, and that is what we are setting up. So these distributors not only will fly things to other logistics distributors according to need, but they'll fly stuff to me, which is amazing. Let me tell you. All right, so those bots are done. Looks like we can have a maximum of 8. All right, it let me put 10 in there for some reason, but I'll take it. All right, so 10 are now in that one, and then this can also have 10. Very good. And there is a max charging power that I can set up, so if I wanted it to draw less power, then I could set it up to do that. You're going to see that mechanic more and more as we move forward in the series. There are buildings that draw a ton of power mainly buildings that are logistics based that are designed to help you send stuff around. And if you want to reduce the rate at which their bots charge in order to reduce the overall power draw of the facility, you can do that. So the logistics distributor will bring me a certain amount of each of the resources that I program. So we want to say conveyor belts. And I haven't set this up for a sec, so I'm going to have to play with it until I remember exactly how it works. Now, of course, sorter Mark IIIs I need to go ahead and set up as well, don't I? If I've set up the manufacturing for conveyor belt Mark II, I will have to import the resources for them, but I think it's worth it. Okay, so now I can say I want you to provide at least 300 of these to me. And look, they're bringing them to me. Oh my god, that's so cool. So they brought me 300 there, and now I can't get enough of that. It's automatic. So now every time I fly by here, they'll just bring me the sorters that I need. And let's say that I want to have, you know what? Let's say I want at least 600. You know, bring me another stack. Thanks, guys. It's just automatic now. It's glorious. And then I want to have at least 200 of the Mark II sorters at all times. So now those are being brought to me automatically. And I can set any resource that I need to grab. So for example, I definitely want electromagnetic turbines to be brought to me. But not on this planet. I want them to be provided on this particular planet. So what I'll do is I'll set up... Oh, we need power here. That's fine. Can set up a Tesla tower right there. All right, so now that we have this set up, I do need to build some more bots. Not a problem. I'm just queuing up a ton of bots. It is possible to manufacture these like it is anything else in the game, but for now, they build fast enough that I'm not concerned about mass producing them. So let's see what else we can research while those are building. We've got graphene done. All right, so planetary logistics will give us the Mark III conveyor belts, and then we'll have all of our Mark III logistics stuff. So I need thrusters. Let's go ahead and activate that. We have a number of red cubes waiting for us in our tower, so that will be something I can in-queue next. I will go ahead and research the proliferator. Proliferators are something that if you are newer to Dyson Sphere, I don't recommend diving into them immediately. They're an example, an allegory that I can kind of use to compare it for those of you who might be watching, who watch my other content. It's kind of like interloper difficulty in some ways. It doesn't really have much to do with difficulty, but that interloper difficulty is an example of a feature in the Long Dark that was added after the game had been out for a while and was there to kind of help the players who were really experienced with the game have even more control over their logistical function. And that's exactly what the proliferators are to me. You can learn about them early if you want. They paint all of the goods on a particular line with a grade of paint, grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3, and then any goods that are painted will be more efficient in one of two ways that you get to choose at every single facility that those goods pass through. It's complex, and I think it's good to go ahead and get the basics of the rest of this down before you really start thinking too much about where proliferators fit into the big picture for you. That would be my advice. But also, everyone's brain is different, and so that could be something, the way I just described it, you could have immediately gone, oh, heck yeah, I want that right now. And if that's the case, go for it. Me personally, I'm glad that I didn't have that right away when I started Dyson Sphere Program, because that would have seemed like a lot while I was learning. Okay. I think I've queued up enough for now. There are also some upgrades I can probably get going. Let's see. We don't have yellow cubes just yet, but we will very soon. Yeah, we can go ahead and queue up the next blueprint level. Yep, the next vertical construction level. That's very handy. Distribution range, yup. Veins utilization, it's not quite time for that yet. Okay, so that's a good queue of technologies. Let's see how our chain is looking here. Yeah, it's completely fine. This research is only relying on red cubes. Let me make sure that I can't stack anymore. Nope, already done that. All right, so having done that, that's a pretty big change. Do I have more of these built? Let's take a look. I've got 2 of them. Can I build any more? I can build 1 more. Then I need some more prisms. So let me go ahead and grab the prisms since they're right here. And while this research is going, I'm going to go ahead and travel back to Alpha Andromedae 3. Or 4, rather. Let me make sure I build up enough velocity to escape our gas giant's pull. See, now I can't remember. Ash and Jealousol. Yeah, it's 4. It's 4. So it's a good ways away from us right now, but that's fine. We'll speed up and let our battery recharge while we coast. I do have the ability, I think, yes, to build hydrogen fuel rods. I need refined titanium, though. So I can probably go ahead and get titanium mining set up back on Alpha Andromedae 4 now that I'm on the way. We haven't done too much in the way of titanium, even though the planet has plenty of it. We've done silicon mining. So now titanium, I think, is the next order of business. And that'll enable us to finally build hydrogen fuel cells, which will be even more potent than the energetic graphite. Again, recall that I had 3 hydrogen fuel cells right at the very beginning, and then I have had to rely on not having them for some time. Right, we can speed up a little bit more. We're about to pass by the sun. So the sun's helping me speed up a little, and it will slow me down as I pass because I'm not passing super far from it. Look at those god rays. They're just so glorious. Okay, I'm not going to speed up anymore because I'd prefer to have my whatever battery power charges up in order to slow down and land like a sane robot. Who am I kidding? We're not sane. We're trying to build a Dyson Sphere. It's theoretically impossible. Or is it? Theoretically improbable. Yeah. Both of the last interplanetary flights that I've taken, you're probably thinking the same thing I am. It's like, man, you've taken these flights at literally the longest possible distances you could have flown them. One of the advantages of having that improved fuel type that I just mentioned, which we can go ahead and prepare for when we arrive here. One of the advantages is that it will keep our battery charging faster. And that is, of course, increasingly true the better and better resources that you get for fuel. So the hydrogen fuel cell is quite a big deal to go ahead and mass produce. but there are better fuel cells. Absolutely. Oh no. Oh no. I forgot there's less of an atmosphere to slow me down. That's okay though, because now we can land much more chaotically. That mostly worked. I was trying to turn around in time. I was just completely out of energy. I sped up a little bit too much on the way. I was impatient. I wanted to get here. You've probably noticed already, though, the extent to which Icarus's capacity to move around and to accomplish things has increased steadily since the first episode. Icarus starts out very slow, and now we have the ability to fly, to go between planets, but also to build more things at once, and to just have more things going on at once within the body of the suit. The building we're doing, the fabricating we're doing, the running around that we're doing, without running out of power completely. It's pretty awesome. Okay. So now a very important step. Let's go ahead and queue up these. And I think I have plenty of bots. Yes, I do. Now, of course, let's see. With that set up, I'm going to need to build an additional Tesla tower there. That's fine. Perfect. All right, so now we have some bots. So I can say to them that I want some additional resources brought to me. So I want them to... Let's have a stack of, let's say, 1,000 at all times. And they're bringing it to me right now. And then I want to have a stack of 1,000 chips at all times, which would be 5 stacks in the case of the computer chips. They stack higher than the electromagnetic turbines do. All right, so now they're bringing the chips over to me. Let's go ahead and refuel a little bit. Let's see how many have built up, actually. Oh yeah, more than enough. That's beautiful. All right, so now we need to get titanium mining going, don't we? That's going to be an important step. Oh, let me not make them travel too far. Too far, rather. A little bit more. There we go. So you can see on the logistics tab here that they're bringing, that I have them set to bring stuff to me. So I can also tell each logistics distributor whether I want them to provide and collect. So, for example, I don't ever want them to... I don't want these to collect. I want these to provide. So that's what we've set these up to do. You can also tell them to distribute to other distributors if they are so inclined. So we now have... Oh, we've already got them. Yeah, see, it spoils me rotten, because now I don't have to keep as much of an eye on it, and it just keeps me stocked on the things that I'm producing on this planet. Eventually, even what I'm doing now will be automated. I'll be able to bring things much more easily back and forth between spots. Okay, definitely noticing I need to increase magnetic production here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do it the efficient way. Looks like there will be the spot we need to use, and there. All right, so hopefully that will resolve the issue with being a little bit low on magnets here. Because I was noticing that last episode before we even left. It even seems like we probably are producing more metal than we have room for, and that's okay. More iron ingots specifically. I tend to call these metal when I'm focusing on multiple things at once. It's just metal, okay? There's multiple metals, I know that, but my brain just goes there first. Okay, let's take a look at where we can get titanium. Lots of stone near the equator. There's a titanium vein there that's 1.5 million titanium. 1.5 million there. Okay, so there's a couple of very large mines. And 1.4 million much closer to the pole. Which one do I want most? I kind of want to go over and grab the 1.5 to start. So let's do that. How are we doing on power? Okay, so we can probably safely mine titanium here without worrying too much about how much power it's going to take up. Let me get some additional mining. These are called mining machines. Yeah, mining machines built. I was going to say mining facility. Mining facilities, mining machines, mining apparati built. And we still have to work on graphene, too. So again, graphene is going to require us to build sulfuric acid, which will require oil, stone, and water. So now that we have these logistics upgrades done, that can be our very next focus in the next episode, is getting that constructed on the home planet and then getting graphene production underway. Once we have fire ice, which is this special recipe, that will convert more efficiently into graphene, and we won't have to consume sulfuric acid or energized fuel rods anymore at all, energized graphite at all. We don't have to worry about it anymore. But for now, we will have to put those resources together in order to be able to use them. So titanium is going to have a role in that production chain as well. Everything eventually links together in this, as I'm sure you can imagine. Everything eventually links together. All right, so get a couple of those built, and then I think hopefully we can put some power down in between. Yes, we can. Now it's just a matter of connecting it to the grid. So what I'm going to do is just go straight up this line here. Eventually there are towers. They're not quite towers. You'll see when we get there, but there are buildings that you can set up that have a much wider spread than even these. And it's fantastic, let me tell you. Okay, so now we are mining titanium for the first time. Let's head back down. Don't have any splitters, but I can change that quite rapidly. So I think I want to have... Yeah, let's have one right there. It's a little bit far away. I don't normally build them that far away from the mines, but in this case, it'll follow the lines quite nicely. Still working on thruster research, but planetary logistics are probably going to be researched within the next episode. Notice it doesn't say interplanetary logistics, it's just planetary logistics. Big difference. All right, and now I want to bring these resources up and into position so that I'm kind of manufacturing everything here, titanium related, in the same place as I'm manufacturing everything else. That does mean that I'm going to continue to use my vertical system on this planet. I know it's a little bit weird, but it's just going to be for this planet. This planet is really... Apart from what I'm building here now with the titanium construction, this is really all that this planet's going to produce, what it's already producing. It's possible I might add a few other goods, but this is never going to be as complex of an apparatus as our home planet. This is an outpost. It's bringing Homeworld key resources that Homeworld cannot itself produce. And of course, the resources are limited here too. So I will either have to set up similar factories later in the game on other planets, or I will have to feed in resources to this apparatus from other planets once I have that capability. Okay, so yeah, that works. Let's go ahead and have them start coming down this direction. And I can get some smelters. I've already got one. So let's say I want to have... How much... What did I do? Did I do 4? Yeah, that's pretty standard for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you know what? I don't think I did a... Yeah, so some of my buffers here... Or some of the resources that I have set up, I don't actually have buffers. Yeah, I don't have buffers for the... I have buffers for the silicon here. So I guess I can change this one really quick. I mentioned that I would do this piecemeal, and this is a good opportunity to do so. Let's do that. Build a quick splitter. Actually, let's build another one while we're thinking about it, because we will probably need one more for the titanium in just a moment. All right, let's get that production chain going again. I'm just going to keep the rest of that in my inventory. Thruster research is done. That's very good news. We are now making progress towards planetary logistics. Now let's go ahead and get these done. I will need to get some power over here, so let's place these. Oh, perfect. I didn't mean to space them that well, but it worked. It worked. All right. Done. So these will be producing titanium. So what I'll do is select titanium ingot, copy, paste, paste, paste. There we go. And we will output titanium. And this is another good that I'm going to go ahead and say that I would like brought to me. Let's say at least 1,000 each time I come by, and the bots will just fill me up without me having to worry about grabbing it myself, which is especially handy when you're just moving around the base. You might have mentioned you might have noticed rather that there is an upgrade to the range at which those bots can fly. And once you install that upgrade, of course, they'll be able to get to you from farther distances away, which is freaking epic, if I may say so. Okay, so not quite lined up perfectly here. Let's see if we can... Yep, that's good for me. So it's a bit of an unusual outpost. I can't say that I've ever built things quite this way, but like I say, things change every time you play Dyson Sphere Program. You can experiment, you can try things differently. It's part of the process. It's part of what makes it fun. It's figuring out all the different ways that you can pull things off. Okay, so now I guess I can go ahead and get... Okay, I don't have actually what I need in order to get more logistic spots going here, but I can go ahead and grab the titanium that I have, and in the next episode I'm going to fly back to Alpha Andromedae 1. I'm actually going to get started while I end this episode here. We're going to head back, and what we're going to work on next episode is getting those hydrogen fuel cells built and getting some graphene production finally going on Alpha Andromedae 2. Very, very important step towards pretty much everything that's coming next, including the ability to actually fly to other stars, ourselves, and our resource automata can also fly in between stars later in the series. So laying the foundation for doing a lot more than just hopping between a couple of worlds around one star. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming out every day at noon US Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.